Fans and sports media alike have been talking about the possibility of the Cardinals trading up in order to draft Kyle Pitts, tight end out of Florida. In this episode, I'm going to talk about whether the Cardinals should try to move up to get Pitts, how far they would have to move up if they want to draft him, and what would they have to give up to make that trade happen. In his first mock draft, Peter Schrager from the NFL Network had the Cardinals trading up to number 7 in order to draft Kyle Pitts. But in a recent interview, Schrager indicated that his sources around the league have told him he's too low on Pitts, that Pitts will be gone long before the 7th pick. Some people think that he could go as high as 4th overall, where the Atlanta Falcons are currently projected to pick. It's possible that Pitts could slide past 7, but the odds are he's going to be gone somewhere between pick 4 and I'd say probably about pick 9 at the latest. With this in mind, I put together some trade scenarios to get an idea of what it would take for the Cardinals to move up in order to draft Pitts. Now, when it comes to trading draft picks, how teams value those picks can vary. But there are a couple of guidelines and charts that are available. Jimmy Johnson, the coach of the Dallas Cowboys, developed a trade chart that a lot of teams use for many years. In recent years, teams have revised those values and a number of iterations of that have been developed. I used one of these more recent value charts to develop my trade scenarios, and I'll put a link below to the chart that I used. As I developed my proposed trades, I tried to keep them balanced. I made sure that the values of the picks given up by each team were within about 1% or less of each other. Now, teams don't all value draft picks the same way, and the actual value that a team places on a pick can vary based on the situation, like is there a quarterback available or a generational talent like some people think Pitts is. So these scenarios are not foolproof. It wouldn't surprise me if the Cardinals would actually have to give up more than what I've listed here, but these scenarios do provide a starting point to get an idea of what kind of compensation we would be looking at in order to trade up to get Pitts. The first scenario involves the Cardinals acquiring the 4th overall pick from the Atlanta Falcons. As you can see, the Cardinals would end up giving up their 16th overall pick, their 2nd round pick, their 5th round pick, and next year's 1st round pick in order to get the 4th overall pick and a 3rd round pick this year. In the next scenario, we see the Cardinals making a trade with the Cincinnati Bengals for the 5th overall pick. Here they give up their 1st round pick this year, their 1st round pick next year, and their 4th round pick next year. I didn't propose a trade for the 6th overall pick because I don't think the Miami Dolphins are going to trade out of that spot. If you follow the news, you probably know that Miami's traded around a bit, and they ended up most recently trading from the 12th pick up to the 6th pick. And I don't think they moved up in order to just move right back again. But you never know. So in the next scenario, I have the Cardinals trading with the Detroit Lions for the 7th overall pick. Here you see the Cardinals give up their 1st round pick this year, their 2nd round pick this year, and a 3rd round pick next year in order to get the 7th overall pick and a 5th round pick this year. We then come to the scenario where the Cardinals try to trade with the Carolina Panthers for the 8th overall pick. Here the price is the Cardinals' 1st round and 2nd round pick in this year's draft. Finally, we have the proposed trade with the Denver Broncos, where the Cardinals give up their 1st round pick and their 2nd round pick this year in order to get the 9th overall pick and a 4th round pick in return. Now remember, it's possible the Cardinals would actually have to give up more than what I've listed here. But these trade value charts give us at least a starting point to get an idea of what we're looking at. So, should the Cardinals try to make one of these trades? On one hand, the Cardinals already have limited draft capital due to the Rodney Hudson and DeAndre Hopkins trades. In many of these scenarios, the Cardinals wouldn't be picking again till the 4th or 5th round. And considering that starting players are often drafted in the 2nd and 3rd rounds, the Cardinals are giving up a lot for one player. But in addition to the draft capital they'd be giving up, a lot of people think this is too high to draft a tight end. Most of the best tight ends in the league were drafted somewhere between the 2nd round and 5th round. Travis Kelce was a 3rd round pick. George Kittle was a 5th round pick. But many people think Pitts is worth it. Many experts have said that Kyle Pitts is the best tight end prospect they have ever scouted, ever, in their whole career. So if Pitts is this kind of transcendent talent, maybe it's worth moving up to get him. So will Keim do it? Is he going to try to move up to get Pitts? As someone who's followed the Cardinals for years and tries to pay attention to how the team makes decisions and the kinds of moves they make, one part of me thinks Keim's more likely to want to trade back and get extra picks rather than trade up and give up even more draft capital. But at the same time, he's shown he's not afraid to make aggressive moves. I could see him falling in love with Pitts and deciding that he wants to go all in to draft this generational talent and pair him with Kyler Murray. Whatever happens, you can bet Cardinals fans are going to have some strong opinions. What do you think? Should the Cardinals try to trade up for Pitts? Should they hold off and trade back? Put your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. Thanks for joining me. Please be sure to hit that like button and the subscribe button, and we'll see you next time on the Cardinal Rule.